What's up, everybody? It's Fox 13 News reporter Spencer Joseph here in the Fox 13 newsroom, just off a very exciting baseball extravaganza in the MLB All-Star Game, ending in spectacular fashion. It was a tied game where then they went to a home run derby at the end of the game. I think a lot of people didn't even know that that was a possibility. A lot of the players were even talking about, hey, we didn't even know this was the rules. So the way it worked was you get three swings and you get three batters, and most home runs wins, National League or American League. And Kyle Schwarber with the Phillies got the MVP award because he hit all three home runs, giving the National League the edge in this year's All-Star game. Pretty cool ending. If you were with us on Fox 13, or still with us on Fox 13 right now, really, really unique ending to a great game. All right, but let's talk about what we're here to talk about, and that is the potential to bring Major League Baseball to Utah. What are the chances? What is the potential going on right now? And I'm actually going to show you a story here in just a moment that we are airing actually right now on Fox 13 News. So hang on here. You don't need to go there. I'll show it to you in a minute just after we wrap it on air as well. But what is the big potential of bringing Major League Baseball to Utah? So right now we're looking at the Power District. Again, that was about 2 years ago, and I've got a couple of notes here. About 2 years ago, Miller family and Big League Utah kind of made this push to create an area off of North Temple called the Power District. The legislature then passed, I believe it was HB 562. I may be getting that number wrong, but that kind of cleared the way for the potential of bringing public-private cooperation into that land. That is now kind of where that land sits. You may have driven up and down North Temple. You've seen those big, giant banners that say Big League Utah, or you see the Miller Corporation's logos. You see the stadium renderings, and in fact, I can actually show you some of the stadium renderings here. If I go ahead and pull this up here, you can see these are some of the stadium renderings from Big League Utah. This is actually just directly off their website right now. So you can see here. I'll scroll down a little bit here. Here's all of the members of Big League Utah, the community advisory boards, that kind of stuff. I believe at the bottom, yeah. So here's some of those renderings. You can see this is, if you're familiar with the North Temple area, you've got that big Rocky Mountain power plant that's there with those three smokestacks. This is where that baseball stadium would go. We'll show it in a minute, but actually there is it's just an empty field right now. So it's an empty field waiting for the go-ahead. If we were to get a team, that's where the stadium would go, or at least this push for Utahns, or at least this push of this Utah group, Big League Utah, to bring that stadium to Utah. So the two big ways that we could get a team are expansion or relocation. Relocation is relatively unlikely, and we'll talk about that a little more in just a minute or two. But relocation is relatively unlikely. An expansion team is significantly more likely, although we are starting to face some stiff competition from some other people. One of those other groups is this group right here, Portland. And we'll talk some more about this too, but this is newly released renderings from Portland and their stadium. I have to admit, it looks cool too. I understand. Obviously, I'm all for Utah getting a team here, but Portland's renderings do look pretty cool. So this is probably right now the stiffest competition that we have, and it's relatively a new competition in terms of exactly bringing that to Portland or Utah, and there's several other cities that could be a part of that. So yeah, that's kind of where we're starting this conversation. If you want to chime in the comments, and if you're joining us from on air as well, I'm going to be monitoring the comments on both Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're watching this. So go ahead and comment below if you do have any questions. There's a couple of people talking about the A's. We'll talk about the A's here in a moment. But I'm going to go ahead and run the story, kind of setting us off, bringing you all the latest information, and kind of showing you and bringing you up to speed where we are right now. Enjoy this.
In case you haven't heard, there's a chance
we've really turned Salt Lake into a major league city.
And a little history
to bring Major League Baseball
Utah is such a baseball state.
to Utah. So when are we going to get the team? What's it going to be named? And for that matter, when are they going to win the World Series? All right, let's slow our roll a little bit. I know you all just watched the MLB All-Star Game. We're still a ways off from Major League Baseball in Utah. But here's everything you need to know about the potential move of MLB to the state.
If an MLB team were to come to town, leaders say this is the ideal spot.
We know the league is considering expanding from 30 to 32 teams.
In April of 2023, the formation of Big League Utah was announced, with the Miller family fronting an effort to bring a team here. And on that team,
I just really wanted to be a part of making that happen. So
is Lincoln Fillmore. He's a state senator representing South Jordan and a huge baseball fan.
I think I'm up to 39 ballparks now, right? So I've been to every currently existing major league park except 3.
And now, fans, here's the starting lineup for your Orem Owls.
I spent 9 seasons with the Orem Owls as their stadium announcer. It's just a great gig.
That's why he was proud to be the Senate sponsor of HB 562 in the 2024 legislative session that paved the way for the Power District.
We don't want to be presumptuous in any way, but we're really confident.
Land along North Temple that could be developed into a baseball stadium.
Be able to revitalize that area and turn it into an asset instead of a detriment to our capital city and to our state is really going to be phenomenal.
So why baseball? Well, the answer, Utah loves it.
Utah has the highest participation in the Little League as a ratio among all states in the country.
Plus, the best baseball movie of all time was made here.
You play ball like a girl!
But there isn't really an obvious team for us to root for.
If you had this formula, right, what is the largest city that is also the greatest distance away from any baseball team? It's Salt Lake City. We are encircled by Major League Baseball in Denver, in Phoenix, in Los Angeles, soon to be Las Vegas, Seattle, and Utah sits at the epicenter of that.
All that added up, a field is literally sitting empty, waiting for the green light. So what's the time frame? Well, there's either relocation or expansion.
I don't think Utah would be that picky, about if it was an expansion team or a relocated team, would be open to either one, but I think expansion is probably the more likely scenario.
For expansion, Major League Baseball would likely wait until after the current collective bargaining agreement runs out.
Every time the calendar flips, we get that much closer. I hope that an expansion team will be announced for Salt Lake City in 2028. I hope that that means that we can get a team by 2031 or 2032.
But you won't have to wait that long, because the push has attracted a big league event. At the ballpark at America First Square, there's an opportunity happening.
As part of our broader push through Big League Utah, Salt Lake became kind of a target market of sorts for baseball events.
This is Ty Wardell, General Manager of the Bees and Chief Revenue Officer for Larry H. Miller Sports and Entertainment. And he's talking about this. It's called the Home Run Derby X, and in cities across the country, they're making stops with MLB stars to swing for the fences.
We're going to welcome Home Run Derby X here September 19th through the 20th, so it'll be a 2-day event here. It's a fun new product that Major League Baseball's initiatives as part of their broader appeal to the game.
Nick Swisher, Manny Ramirez, and Utah softball star Hannah Flippin are just some of the names that will step up to the plate and hit them out of the park. But at its heart, all of this is about creating another opportunity. Another experience for Utah.
Major League Baseball wants to expand. We'd love to be at the top of the list.
So what can you do to make sure we're at the top of that list?
For Utahns to help out, take part in all of these things that are coming to Utah already, right? Go to Jazz games, go to hockey games, go to Bees games. Just go and enjoy it and just show that this would be an attractive place for a team to be.
All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that. That was a fun piece to put together today as we're talking about this coming out of the All-Star game. A lot of Utahns love baseball. I've seen some people chiming in the comments. Some people saying bring the team to St. George. Totally think that would be fun to play some baseball in St. George, too. But yeah, let's talk about bringing that Major League Baseball team to Utah. What is the possibility? Well, you heard it in that package. Relocation is relatively unlikely. We've got a couple of people talking about the A's hosting the A's temporarily. That was actually a conversation for a little bit. Is would the A's relocate to Utah temporarily, whether waiting for that stadium in Las Vegas to be built? Right now, they're playing in the stadium where the Sacramento River Cats are after moving out of Oakland, waiting for that stadium. There hasn't been any other movement after they moved to Sacramento about coming to Utah, but that was actually a conversation whether it was going to Smith's Ballpark or going to the ballpark at America First Stadium or America First Square where the Bees play now. So either of those two stadiums were an option. So yeah, that was definitely a part of the conversation. When we're talking about expansion, the collective bargaining agreement that Major League Baseball has right now ends in 2026. The commissioner's third term ends in 2028. So it's in this window. Once kind of some of that stuff is dealt with, a new collective bargaining agreement is reached, that expansion will most likely happen. So that's what you heard in that story. Senator Lincoln Fillmore talk about that expansion. Hopefully, 2028 is when maybe we're seeing some movement on getting the team. Donnie chiming in the chat, bring the team to SLC. Well, let's talk about SLC's competition. So for the longest time, a lot of those insiders, baseball insiders, had always put Salt Lake City pretty high on the list. In fact, some going as far as to say they were at the top of the list, not necessarily because, hey, they've done all of this, work behind the scenes or anything like that. The majority of it was just how prepared Salt Lake City was. And you saw some of that footage from 2023 in there where the Millers announced Big League Utah and the Power District, and that the Utah legislature had passed some bills. So all of that lining up had kind of put insiders on this track that Salt Lake City it would be a favorite. Here's the thing, though, and this is earlier this year. Somebody new has entered the arena, and that is Portland. We showed a little bit of this, showed this a little while ago, and I'm going to go ahead and bring it up here. So here is Portland's website. This is the Portland Diamond Project, and they've identified some land right south of downtown Portland, pretty much in downtown Portland on the Willamette River. You can see this rendering right here, right on the river. Kind of giving those McCovey Cove vibes with this rendering, this new stadium. So they have entered essentially the conversation into getting an expansion team, that they would love an expansion team in Portland. Some of the other players, Charlotte, Nashville. I'm going to check my notes. Yeah, Charlotte, Nashville, Montreal, Orlando, Raleigh, San Antonio, and Austin. Austin was one of those early contenders. Nashville was another one of those favorites. I actually pulled up, and I'm going to go ahead and share this as well. This is Austin's website. This is the Austin Baseball Commission. So you can see it's actually a pretty rudimentary site. None of those amazing renderings that we're seeing in Portland or in Salt Lake. I'm going to go ahead and look up and just see if Nashville actually has a site. And I know the Nashville Sounds, their minor league team, is already in Nashville. But I'm curious to see if they have okay, so it looks like Music City Baseball is their site. So yeah, I mean, it looks as if, again, there's not these big renderings or any of that stuff, but there are several individuals throughout Nashville that also want to bring a team there. So I would, half a dozen to maybe 10 cities across the country would like to potentially bring baseball to their city. But again, Utah is on this path of, we've already passed legislation. We've already secured the land. These renderings are out, and you can see this. Pull it back to Big League Utah's website. and the Millers and those players in Big League Utah really want to redevelop this area around the Jordan River along North Temple, right across from the Fair Park. So yeah, you can see the renderings here off to kind of the right-hand side of your screen, where the Fair Park is and such. So yeah, I mean this is kind of the state of things as it comes to where we are in terms of getting an expansion team. Promising, but not guaranteed. I think a lot of people are very excited about this in Utah. A lot of the comments, and obviously we just got a hockey team. We got the Olympics coming back in 2034. We've got a lot of excitement around sports. We have RSL, the Jazz. We have championship rugby. We have lacrosse. I mean, we have so many of these sports franchises coming into the state, coming to Utah, that I think people can't help but take notice. And I definitely, definitely think it's a really, really cool opportunity. Josh chiming in the chat. AL or NL better for Utah expansion team? That's a funny one. Man, my gut says probably national. I mean, it would be one of each. So um, the thing right now and the prediction is the MLB will expand by 2 teams. It'll go from 30 to 32, one AL and one NL. So that's a good question, Josh. I actually might have to take some thought on that because, yeah, my gut says National League, but yeah, I think it could be American League as well. So very, very cool question. So, yeah, this is obviously a story that's not going to go away. We're going to continue to follow this, continue to talk about this because I think a lot of people are so excited. That's one of the big things that I see in comments, especially the Utah Mammoth, just getting that team. A lot of people in those comments were saying, "Hey, we want baseball too. Bring on baseball." So I think that there's a hunger, there's a want, there's a need, and just, I mean, obviously I'm a lifelong Angels fan, but I would love a team here in Utah. Um, so I definitely think it would be a really, really cool opportunity for Utahns to be able to not have to drive to. I mean, I don't even know where the nearest. It would be Vegas in terms of the nearest team once the A's relocate from Sacramento. But right now, I mean, it probably would be the Angels or the Dodgers, maybe the Rockies. It's about kind of even between the two. So, yeah, I mean, that's how far that really people are going to have to drive to see a Major League Baseball game. And I know Utahns that want to make that drive. I definitely think that once the ballpark is in Vegas, more Utahns will actually make that drive. So, I definitely think Donnie's saying same. I would love to see Utahns not have to travel so far to get their baseball fix. One other thing I wanted to bring up, and it wasn't in that story. If you're just joining us, we showed a story that we produced for tonight after the MLB All-Star Game. But one of the things that we didn't mention in that story, I did want to mention, is the Salt Lake Bees down in the Daybreak area actually had their first non-4th of July sellout last weekend on Saturday. So that ballpark is picking up steam as well. So I think there's a lot of momentum around baseball in Utah right now. And yeah, like we say, promising, not assured, but I think we're in a very good place. You heard Senator Fillmore talk about what you can do. You can go to games. You could sell out games, whether it's the Jazz, the Mammoth, RSL, the Utah Archers. Just go to these games, have fun, be a part of that atmosphere, be a part of that Utah spirit, and I think it will show so many. It'll show so many of those movers and shakers, not only here in Utah, but those decision makers in Major League Baseball. Utah is ready to take on a team. So yeah, keep the conversation going. I'd love to do this. I've been talking about comments. I'm reading your comments right now, but we talk about comments in terms of these stories when we post them on Facebook, when we post them places. A lot of we read your comments, guys, and we want to hear from you. So yeah, keep that coming, and we're going to keep listening to you, keep doing stories that we know you want to hear about, and keep this conversation around baseball moving. So I'm going to end this stream, but I may still, if you guys want to comment, if you're coming on late and didn't watch this live, I'm going to still monitor the comments. I'll try and respond to you if you do have any questions. And you still have some comments about Major League Baseball moving to Utah, I'll try and respond to you guys. But thanks for joining us. This is a lot of fun to do. And yeah, go Utah unnamed team. Not sure what that's going to be, but I think that'll be a really fun opportunity. Thanks, guys.